Hey peddlers, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all new leaked S-Works 8 road shoe made by Specialized. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now here is a picture of the S-Works 8. If you guys just wanted to see it, here it is. Please like the video, it really helps with me putting out content like this. But if you want to stay and listen to everything I have to say on this new leaked road shoe, then definitely subscribe, and it obviously helps the channel grow. So I'll get into it right now. So when I was on Instagram about a week ago, it's about 6 to 7 days now since this was leaked, I actually saw this post very fast and thought, hey, I definitely should make a video on it, but I kind of got busy, so I'm making the video right now as we speak. But not a lot of people jumped on this, and the reason why is because this shoe was actually leaked on Daniel Oss's Instagram. If you guys don't know, he's a professional cyclist on Bora Hansgrohe, which is a pro cycling team, especially Peter Sagan's right-hand man, especially during the cobbles. So when this picture was actually on his Instagram, you could actually see the shoe in its full entire glory. But then now when I went on it 6 days later, he actually cropped it out. So it's interesting that this picture got deleted, at least one of the pictures got deleted, and it got cropped. So it means that Specialized did not want this to leak. Now, if you know anything about the cycling industry, but this is probably very similar in other industries and sport industries, is that they love to give athletes the ability to test new products. So I'm guessing that's what happened in this situation. They gave Daniel Oss the new S-Works 8 road shoes to test out, but they didn't think he would actually post it, or at least have the picture where his shoes actually in shot. So definitely, I think this was a mess up, but it was good because I love cycling tech, and I know you guys do too. So I'm just gonna get right into it, my thoughts. If you guys just want to see the shoe, here it is. But now we're gonna get into my thoughts. Now, it has been 2 years since Specialized released the S-Works 7 road shoe, which is the current road shoe that the majority of the peloton uses along with amateur cyclists. Now, I myself currently ride on the S-Works 6s. So I rode these last summer. Currently, I've ridden them pretty much all seasons since they've been released. And the reason why is just I haven't pulled the trigger on upgrading to the S-Works 7s, and that's because I currently ride a 44.5 in the S-Works 6s, and I wasn't sure whether to go for a 44 in the S-Works 7s or a 44.5 in the S-Works 7. So by the time I really wanted to upgrade, the season was practically over. And it's funny because if that means that the S-Works 8s are around the corner, I probably want to upgrade to that one. But then again, I think in terms of design, the S-Works 7s is just so aesthetically pleasing. We will get into some shots if you guys aren't familiar with it, but I just want to talk about the new technology. So if we look back at the shoe, you can see that something's pretty new, and it's the BOA dials. So if you guys didn't know, the BOA dials are going to be most likely on the S-Works 8, at least by this picture. And the reason why I think this is pretty accurate is because if it was meant to be leaked, then Daniel also wouldn't have deleted the post, or Specialized wouldn't have made him delete the post. So I find it pretty accurate that this will be released. I'll tell you when I think this will be released, but I don't think this is a very early prototype. I think this is pretty much the final design. Now, currently, I'm looking at my notes. The Shimano S Fire RC92, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing these right. They have the Li2 BOA dial system, which is supposed to be sleek and durable, and I think it looks really nice. I'll show you guys a picture of what the S Fire's RC902 shoe looks like. You can see the BOA dials are very sleek compared to what they were on the S-Works 6s. But one thing that Specialized did with the S-Works 7s when they came out is that they have their own proprietary BOA dial, which is the S3 Snap BOA dials that only Specialized shoes could use. So they have this on the mountain bike shoes and the S-Works, the road shoes as well. So I really love these BOA dials. I got my hands on them, and they're just so sleek compared to the old ones I have on the S-Works 6s. But then again, does that mean that the S-Works 6s don't work? No, I just think they're really nice. But I think it's quite interesting to see them go with the Li2s, but I think maybe that the Li2s are just better. But I would have to get my hands on it, but it's just interesting that they wouldn't use their own proprietary BOA dials, especially if they probably invested a lot of money getting that done in the first place. But you can see right now we're going to be looking at the S-Works 7s if you guys aren't familiar. So I think in terms of aesthetics, a lot of things that people hated with the S-Works 6s that I currently own was the heel was very stiff. So they got rid of that on the S-Works 7s. They made it a little bit, they still kept the heel shell, but they made it less rigid. That's one thing. It felt really secure, but it just hurt on long kilometers. The toe box got a lot better. Just things, the S-Works 6s, the best way I can describe this without going on too long of a rant was just, it was a very stiff shoe. Not saying that was bad, it was great, but the thing they did in terms of the refinement was that they were able to refine it and make it not only stiff, which is what the S-Works 6s excel at, but also make it enjoyable in terms of comfort and ease of use, rather than feeling, oh, my feet really hurt, or having to consistently micro adjust because your feet are very just swollen because it's such a rigid ride. That's the best way I can describe it. Now, one thing I just noticed on the new S-Works 8 road shoes, you can see the first bow dial is pretty high up, and the second bow dial is pretty normal where the second bow dial would be, and I'm probably assuming that's for better distribution of tension. So it'd be very interesting to see how that feels on the foot, and obviously to ride in. So I'm very interested in seeing that, because that's the first time I've seen in a long time a bow dial being that high up, but probably creates a very good secure fit. Now, one thing that this shoe reminds me of is Specialized released this summer the S-Work Vent, which is a shoe that is designed to promote ventilation, especially during humid and hot conditions. And we can see that we don't get that in the S-Works 7s, but also one thing to be noted is that the S-Works 7s are ridden during the cobbles, during the classic, during the springtime. So you don't want that much ventilation, especially when rain's coming down. So I think the S-Work 8 are going to be a good mix of both, just improving ventilation slightly, not obviously making it a pure summer shoe like the S-Works Vent is, but just improving it slightly, taking what they learned from the S-Works Vent and just improving maybe some ventilation problems that, because even the S-Works 7s, you can see that there's ventilation holes. So obviously you're still riding in the wet, you need to protect yourself with proper shoe covering, but improving ventilation is always an added bonus. This is another shot of the S-Works Vent. If you haven't seen it, you can see that there's a good distribution of airflow around the shoe. So we're going to see that in the S-Works 8. It's just a matter of time that we get a better, clearer picture. But ending this video off, we're going to talk about what Specialized is probably going to claim with this new shoe. And it's usually the normal things that you would expect a bike company. There's going to be an increased stiffness in the shoe. We usually hear that. Comfort is going to be increased, which it always should. And also weight savings is probably going to be lighter, also because materials are only getting better. But I think the biggest takeaway that we can probably take from the shoe is going to be comfort, because that second bow dial that's at the top is very interesting, along with the ventilation improvement that I see. So that's going to be very interesting. I really do like the look of the shoe. Now, I think aesthetically so far, I have to see other angles of the shoe on the foot, or just like this picture that we have right here to really decide aesthetically, do I like it more? But obviously we're worried about performance and comfort and rigidity, but in terms of how it looks, I think it looks totally fine. I think it's very hard to outdo the S-Works 7s, because I think they're such a good shoe. Not only do they perform well, but they look great. And I'm assuming that the release date is probably going to be around January, when the Tour Down Under, if it does take place, it's probably going to be around there, because that's usually when bike tech does get dropped for the new season. So it'll be quite interesting. I will keep you guys up to date, but this is the first leak and no one has made a video on it as of right now. So I thought, what better way to give you guys some bike tech, and stay tuned, because I have some other unreleased bike tech that I will be doing very soon on this channel, along with other stuff. So stay tuned, like the video if you have not, subscribed to the channel, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.